Self-Care Sunday.
One day I'll be on top of the world. Yeah. That's just how I feel right now. It feels good. Yeah. It feels good. Yeah. It feels good.
That's what making plays feels like. It feels good. It feels like winning. This is Classic Talks Podcast, where we subscribe to a next play mentality, one conversation at a time. I am Dr. Classic. Let's talk about it. Yo.
Yo, that is
Dude.
dopeness.
Man.
I need to I think I'm gonna make that song my alarm in the morning.
Oh.
I see myself like getting up like
I be in the mirror, you know how you just got a jingle in your head? I be singing to myself.
Yeah, that's dope. The song feel good and everything. Sean Pro out. What's his name?
That is AY. Beat tags and body bags. I was gonna kill it. I caught it together.
Shout out AY, man. That's a dope. That's a dope track, man. It's a beautiful feeling. I love vibes. So, you know what I'm saying? Whenever something give me a good vibe or something, you know what I'm saying? I rock with it. I rock with it the tough way.
Well, yes.
How you doing, though? How your week been? How everything been going for you?
Hopefully. And I say this with conviction, it stays this way. That's what I'm saying. Hopefully it stays this way. I've been feeling like I've been making some good decisions. You know how you just make decisions to do good things, better things. I've been making some good decisions. So my week has been full of decision making. I even did a talk about it on my Friday session. I've been making some decisions that make sense for me to be me, like authentically try and connect with people. So I've been having an excellent week, and I'm so happy it's Sunday. You know, I vibe with Self-Care Sundays.
Oh man, don't you? I do too. I was trying to find the right GIF. I couldn't send it to you earlier or whatever. I'm like, because that's how I thought about it. I'm like, we had a conversation last week where we was kind of talking about the energy you give off and lead into it. And I'm like, you always send me the message. I'm like, skip that. I'm sending the message today, but I couldn't find the Self-Care Sunday GIF or nothing to send you. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put something together. And every Sunday, I'm going to send it to you. But it got to be something that's like, you know, what we want Self-Care Sunday to be about. We don't want it to be a day where you kind of reflect on all your bad stuff. No, we want you to sit and feel on top of the world on this day. This is the day for you to feel like you have, like I said, you conquered everything for the week and you're ready to take on the next goals for the week. Last week just set you up to be better for this week. Like that's what Self-Care Sunday is all about. It's about getting that powerful aura around yourself. You know what I mean? To take it up to the next level, turn it up a notch. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Self-Care Sundays because it's just all about a positive feeling and a good vibe and great energy. And that's what we bring on this session, this segment, this show, this cast, whatever you want to call it. That's what we bring here. We just want to bring a good vibe to you on any day. But for us, it's this Sunday. You know what I mean? This is what we do on Sundays. You know what I mean? This might be your Tuesday, your Wednesday, or whatever it is for you. But just make sure you catch that vibe and you catch that energy and understand exactly what we're trying to do for you and bring into your life.
Facts. A good start to the week. That's what Self-Care Sunday does for me. This is my start of my week. I wake up differently. I'm pumped differently because everything that was back behind today, it was last week, and now I'm trying to look forward. So I'm with you. Bring the energy. Hopefully everybody can feel the energy, but Self-Care Sundays.
You know that.
I had a question.
This you should got a question?
I got a question for you to get this started.
Okay, what you got?
And so and I've been pondering on this. And we talked a little bit about it in our pre-gaming.
Okay.
I've been feeling like I've been seeing a lot of healing, right? We talked about the fact Will Smith, Aunt Viv. I think that was big. That was some real stuff to me. And I think it looked like they were able to kind of get past a really big thing in their life. Then, you know, I mess with Versus, man. I like what Versus is doing. I'm glad that they bring in some real cool music and vibes and energy to a space where we need it, man. 2020 has set us up for some lonely times. So I feel like people are connected on Versus just to hear some good music and catch that motion. So I see Jeezy and Gucci went at it. this last time around, and I don't know who
Mm-hmm.
you think got it. I don't know who you think got it. But I did rock with how Jeezy made it a vibe. Like, I felt like he came in there on some different stuff. Like, one thing I wanted to say on here is, like, when you get an opportunity to respond to something that you already responded to, but you take the moment to respond differently, you have passed, you heal from it. Like, I caught that somewhere, and I really believe that. I feel like Jeezy was in a place where he was like, hey, like, this got to be for the culture. We've been feeling it. We've been struggling. We've been killing each other on this. Like, I'm trying to move forward. Either you going to do it or you not. And I feel like he gave him emotion. Gucci rock with it for the moment, but I feel like it's some healing going on. Do you think people out here are really feeling like they enough? Like, they enough to be themselves? They enough to see things through? They enough to heal? Because that's what it's going to take.
From what I'm seeing now, the situations worldly that we're currently going through, it's building stronger people for these reasons. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to understand, like, for a person that might have probably got COVID and got over it, you know what I mean? Like, that's something that big that you conquered. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people that I've talked to that have had it, that conversation is deep. Like, I wouldn't wish that on nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a horrible feeling. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to healing, you know, all these little pieces are needed. You know what I'm saying? Because we were broken. You know what I mean? 2020 was a year that broke everybody. You know what I mean? To a point where we were all lost on what to do next. So now that we're getting these little pieces or whatever, it's only right that we heal from them. But one of the main things that I grabbed from when you were just talking was, when you're presented with a situation that you were presented with before, you know what I'm saying, and you find a way to make, you know what I mean, make a better decision out of it. You know what I'm saying? That's all a part of the reevaluation, because you took time to see what happened that first time and you see that it didn't work. So now that you're blessed with the opportunity again to make that change, that lets me know that upcoming to this point, you reevaluated that situation as a whole to understand the importance or the logic out of it, of what you really should do. And it's funny that you brought that into the equation today, because me and my guy, we actually, you know, sitting back, you know what I mean, politicking the other day, and we actually were breaking that down as far as, like, with wording. You know what I mean? I do a lot of, like, studying and stuff into words, and that's something that people don't really pay attention to, that RE that gets put on the front of words. You know what I'm saying? Like, re-evaluate, you know what I'm saying? Because maybe the evaluation is not good. That's why the re-evaluation was created. And then we started to go into a deeper aspect of it, of looking at, like, respect. You know what I'm saying? Like, what would spec be? You know what I'm saying? Without the re being there first, what is spec? You know what I'm saying? And then you put the respect on there. So you have to learn how to spec first before you can even learn how to respect somebody. But spec would have to be like the breakdown of, when you think of spec in the words of, like, spectacular, which is something with a visual or something like that. So you got to understand that the respect that you're going to give to people is not going to all be the same. I won't respect you the same way I respect my mom, the same way I respect my son, the same way I respect my friend. You know what I mean? It's all different. So that's where you have to make sure you're understanding who and what you're dealing with before you go into something with it. And that plays a big role into your decision making. You know what I mean? By understanding, you know what I mean, what it is that you're dealing with or who it is.
Sure. So I hear everything you're saying, and I wanted to take it from, like, I was looking at it almost kind of backwards, like, where else could this apply? You know me, I'm always trying to take something I learned and figure out where in my life do I apply it? Like, where do I?
Right.
That, to me, made me feel like a lot of people almost assume or act like they over something or healed from something, and they really not, because they keep responding the same way. Put it in a relationship. Anytime you put something in a relationship, people can kind of get it.
Right.
Sometimes people are not for you. You tried some things. You've done some things. You've tried to move some things for people, right? You have went back in at a different approach. You try to motivate them to get on board with what you got going on, or figure out what they want to do. See, can you get on board with what they got going on? some people's mentality is just not there. But when you're faced, because these relationships that keep going back and forth, and there's so much trauma happening, and we broken up, we together, we talking. If you really got the chance to go back into this situation, are you gonna keep responding the same? So many of us think that we're healed and moving on, but we keep going back into the same situation. I'm victim of it myself, and I don't know if I want to even call myself a victim, because when I looked at it from this route, I'm like, no, I chose to go back and do the same thing and try and pull the strings. And no, that wasn't it. So if you are moved on, if you're healed from something, if you like, okay, I really am done with it, when you go back to your re-evaluation, are you gonna have the same response? Are you gonna do the same exact thing?
Notice how that came back though, right?
Came back.
That response, you see what I'm saying? Because the way you responded to it at first wasn't correct. So now the response has to be right. You know what I'm saying? It's what's coming back. And it has to align with your reevaluation, because that's what we get. Some people separate that too. How you reevaluate is not even how you respond. You know what I'm saying? When you sit back and you apologize, or you overlook a situation and you're like, okay, I owe this person an apology. When you come to them, the apology never comes out the way you reevaluate it. But the way you reevaluated it, the play out was so perfect. But you wonder why you don't get that play out, because you didn't respond the same way you reevaluated it.
I got what you're saying.
And what that lead me to is what I wanted to tell you I wanted to talk about. And that was the 3, 2, 1 break. Think about it in a huddle. We're in a huddle, and that's how it goes. 3, 2, 1 break. And then everything kind of goes away so that everybody can do their job. We all come together to discuss one big job. You know, I'm a football head, so it all goes into football.
I'm an athlete. I caught on.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So we go, let's huddle. So that's me, that's you, that's whoever else we got coming together. You know what I'm saying? And we're in the huddle, and we're like, okay, what's the next play? You know what I'm saying? The next play. I said, next play. I said, next, my bad.
Like, gotta hit a bar real quick.
But we all come together, and then we discuss whatever it is. Okay, look, so I'm gonna need you to bust this left, and I'm gonna have you make this right. I'm gonna have you keep straight. You know what I'm saying? So what it is key. You keep doing what you're doing. You're gonna keep bumping this up. You're gonna keep making this happen. You're gonna keep doing this, and that. I'm gonna focus on this promotion so that I bring more people to the actual podcast world, and And then this person doing this job. Then what do? 3, 2, 1, break. Now we all separate so we can do our one job. So at the end, we all can come to one common goal, and that's the touchdown. Okay. People need to apply that to their life. Break. You know what I'm saying? We all need a break sometimes. But you have to understand what the break actually is. The break is not the time to get on the couch and put your feet up and say, all right, I can stop working. No, the break is take a break from all of these other people and all of these other things that you're bringing in, that you're connecting with, because you're networking along the way. You know what I mean? And whatever you do, you always making connections. You know what I'm saying? Or in relationship aspects, sometimes you don't need to actually separate, but you need to take a break. You know what I'm saying? Look, seeing each other every day ain't working. We got to take a break from that. You know what I'm saying? It's time. Sometimes you have to do so you can focus on you and I can focus on me, because right now our focus is not where it need to be. So 3, 2, 1, break. You know what I'm saying? With your homies, 3, 2, 1, break. It's not that. It's just I got a bigger vision in life that I'm trying to get to, and I understand I won't be able to get there if I'm constantly sitting here and I'm kicking this stuff with y'all and I'm helping you fulfill your dream. But what about mine?
So I love that. And, you know, I always, you know, where winning came from. I'll tell you where winning came from. My family gets together and we do celebrations for things that we are considering wins, big wins. Wins. And I really thought about the concept when, for one of the celebrations, our family went to New Orleans, and that's where we had a party at. We had a big wins party there. And I'm thinking the whole purpose of winning is about understanding the balance between accomplish something and then you come in and you celebrate it. Like where that break time is that you're talking about. Like, is it is a good concept to take breaks from things. The problem we have is, what do we prioritize that we need to take a break from? I'm the type that when I go on vacation, a little work is vacation. Like looking at this and trying to, understand and learn this. My vacation is, I'm going to take a break. When I take a break from work, I get on to either a YouTube video, or I'm trying to learn the sounds of my board, and my breaks are doing the work. Like, so it's almost like, where do people prioritize I need to take a break from? If I need to take a break from my relationship so I could be more on Facebook, like, what is the break? So I'm 110% with you. Like, winning comes from taking the right breaks from things, sacrificing things, pausing on things. I take fast from social media all the time. Sometimes my mind just needs to get into a space where it can connect on a higher level with something that's above all the noise. Like, I got to be able to hear something. That's where all of my inspiration comes from, for me to be able to project a good message, have great content. I'm a researcher, and I get the break from this when I can get the break from life by getting above all the noise and taking a break and really bringing in like new learning. My breaks is about learning. That's where I want to, and it's not work.
It's not. And that's what, and people don't understand that when you kind of see me sitting there and I'm like jotting in notebooks, or I'm reading or something like that. It's like, dude, stop. You said you wasn't working today. Oh, I'm not working. Yeah. Now I'm just, what I'm doing, that's what I love to do. And that's just increasing my knowledge, or what I wanted to kind of look further into or study or something. Now I got the time to actually look more into it and study and yada, yada, yada. But work would be when I'm actually sitting here and I got to run this and run that and run this and run that, and we got to do this right here. But if I'm not doing this right here, then yeah, I'm this technically considered break. You know what I mean? And unless I'm out here promoting and moving, but other than that, even that could be considered break, because all I'm doing in the meantime, between time, is analyzing things and talking to people and finding a little networking here and there. That's not, that's not too much of nothing, but people gotta, the aspect I really wanted people to understand though is like, we sometimes create these habits and we feel like we need to stop over by certain people's houses every day because it's just what we're accustomed to and what we need to. Like, you need to break from that. Sometimes we go in Walmart, and we only supposed to go in there for some AA batteries, but we come out with half the store. You feel what I'm saying? Take a break from Walmart. There's a million other places you can get batteries from. You know what I'm saying? Because these things will help you out. Because what happens is that messes up your budgeting, your spending. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, that's because we went to Walmart the other week and spent $75 for a $5 battery pack. You're right, exactly. Take a break from some things in your life that you can afford to take a break from. That's what you got to look at. You know what I'm saying? Like, one thing that I can't afford to do is like take a break from the gym. You know what I'm saying? Because that's something that keeps me moving. You know what I'm saying? That's where people try to do when you talk about prioritizing. That's where they backwards with the prioritizing. Well, yeah, y'all talked about on the podcast about taking a break. So yeah, I had stopped going to the gym and I slowed down on my diet. You know what I'm saying? So I can remember that I'm human again. And that's not what I was telling you when I said take a break. Right. What I was telling you to take a break from is probably take a break from the people that's sitting around you eating all the fast food because it's temptation that's breaking your diet. That's what you need to take a break from. Take a break from the people that's around you that don't want to go to the gym, but they want to go to the club every weekend and just drink and party. Take a break from them so that you can actually focus on what it is that you want to do for you to increase your happiness. Because like I always tell you, you increase your happiness, you increase your success, because happiness is the fuel to your success. You cannot be successful and then expect to find happiness in being successful. Happy people find success.
Facts. Real facts. Big facts. Man, listen. You know what's crazy is we are accustomed to seeing it like that. When people consider taking breaks, do they think of their mind needing a break? Do they think of their body needing a break? Like, we have to be I spoke a little bit about it on Classic Talks Friday session. Even women, and I'm saying this to you as a guy, because when you're dealing with your woman, we make different decisions when we're on our cycle. Like, it feels differently to us because our body is in a different state almost. Okay. It's sometimes it can be negative. Like if I make a decision from a low place or a place where my body is not its healthiest, think about people that's making decisions and they in such a poor health place. Like the decisions can't be all, you can't maximize all of your thinking, your environment, your resources when your body not healthy. And I don't know if we all make an understanding to say when we take a break, we take a break from whatever we're taking a break from, it needs to somewhere fuel your body. Like you're trying to restore something. Like if we start to connect our breaks to purpose, taking a break does mean like sometimes if I don't touch this board and I'm not doing work on the other side, maybe I'm meditating. You meditate. Maybe that's my break. It's like to get something going for my body to re-energize. We talked about those deposits and withdrawals. We have to understand that our body needs to be pumped into. So when we're taking breaks from stuff, especially when they're stressing us, especially when they are taking away from our happiness, we have to prioritize our body and our mind as the thing that we're taking a break for. So whatever you're taking a break from, make sure it does that. Sometimes we think of, if I take a break from my relationship and I'm more in the streets or I'm more on social media and hanging out, you still feel like you don't get a space or a break. It's because your body is still running rampant in the social media world, in the club world, in the free world. And we still need to understand that when we take breaks, we need to be energizing ourselves. That's why breaks they sound too foreign for us, don't seem real. We'll create comforts in our breaks and show up at your house every day like it's just a thing. That's what happens.
But don't get nothing out of that. You know what I'm saying? Like you still should get something out of a break. A break is something that you still gain from, you know what I mean? Whether it be peace of mind or anything, but it should be something that you gain from. You know what I mean? That's why it worked. That's why breaks go hand in hand with relief. You know what I mean? And that's where it comes from in the job, where it's like you get 2 15s and a 30. Because I do understand that you've been standing and working for 2 hours straight and you need 15 minutes to just get off your feet so that your blood can flow differently, or you can think about something else besides this repetition that you're constantly doing. You know what I'm saying? That's your life. You got this constant repetition that you're constantly sitting here doing. Take a 15. Take a minute. Take a week away from it and watch how good you feel. You're going to come into that same situation, but you're going to see it completely different. You're going to find a different way to maneuver through it. Because I know when I used to work jobs, that's how it would be. That first 15, I would come back, and now I'm looking at the time different. Like, all right, so that means I got 6 hours left. So that means in the next 2 hours, I get 30 minutes. So all I got to figure out is how to get through these next 2 minutes. These next 2 hours. Oh, I bet. I know what I'm going to do. And now work doesn't seem so much more like work. You're talking in between. All this stuff, comes in between you actually doing your job that you don't even get to do what? Finish the task that you started before you got to take another break. Treat your life the same way. Like you have to take these breaks so you can get that relief and that refresh of, okay, what I'm supposed to be doing. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm going to get to this. And then once you get jump started back on what you're doing from your break and you get back into the things that you were already doing, now you got a whole different outlook on it because you're still pushing the stuff that you were doing on your break that you needed to do versus doing the things that you want to do.
I posted the other day, I said, just about everything work if you unplug it. If you unplug it for just a little while, it'll work when you plug it back in. And it got to be the same thing for you. So I'm 110% with you. What are you needing to take a break from? What are you thinking? What are some things people need to take breaks from that helps to restore, refresh, rejuvenate the real way, the right way for your body?
With the holidays coming up right now, people know they're going to do a lot of eating. Take a break from like soda, like on a health tip. You know what I'm saying? It's like take a break from it because on the day of Thanksgiving when you're going to get eaten, you're going to drink a lot of it. You know what I'm saying? And this is where all that weight comes from in the wintertime. You know what I'm saying? A lot of we're in home and we're just drinking a lot of sodas and stuff like that. Take a break from some of the unhealthy things that you're doing. Even if it's one thing. You know what? I'm going to stop eating so many chips. I'm going to substitute my chips for crackers. Anything. You know what I mean? Just take a break from it. Watch how your body starts to develop a different feel. You know what I mean? Just from you doing that. I'm not telling you to stop doing it for the rest of your life. But just watch what happens when you take something small and take a break from it. You know what I'm saying? Take a break from social media. Every time you think to get on Facebook, pick up a book. I'm not going to read a chapter, but let me read a paragraph. Something, you know what I'm saying? Little changes, you know what I'm saying? Because these are going to be the things that are going to help you with long-term changes. Because believe it or not, sometimes you take that break and you don't even want to get back to the things that are considered to be habit. And that's why people don't like to take breaks. Because the things that they have, that the habits that they have created have too big of a hold on them. And they start to let it be a sense of control. You know what I'm saying?
That's where I was going earlier. Like, people know what's right. People know what's wrong. People know, like, we make emotional decisions and we then are mad or don't really stand by the decisions when we knew up front that it was a bad decision. Emotional decisions, don't get me wrong, more people make emotional decisions than they do fact-based decisions. It happens all the time, even in business. But when you make an emotional decision, stand by the decision that you're making. Make sure, see where you can correct some of the path in that decision. So people know that they're gonna drink soda. They know that they're gonna you plan to pig out during Thanksgiving. Like, you plan, I'm getting 3 plates.
I'm and 2 from my grandma's house.
You know what you call it, made the mac and cheese. I'm getting some of that. Like, you already moving like that. So you know what's coming. It's that discipline that's in between that to say, okay, since I know I'm gonna do this, I'm stuck here. I'm plugged in here with this week. What you saying? Just cut out something. Just remove something. Like, when I tell my daughter, and it always makes sense as a parent, when I tell my daughter, you're only hurting yourself. I be wanting people to really just say that to themselves. Everything that if you keep drinking the sodas, if you keep rolling in, you eating out, you eating your sweets and your donuts this week, and then next week you're gonna do it all again. You only hurting you. Like, nobody else is getting hurt outside of that. And don't get me wrong, learn long term if you're a parent, your kids are, because they doing it. You know what I mean? You're not gonna be around for long, but really you are the person that has to deal with all of the repercussions of that. Like, to me, sometimes that's enough of a scare tactic. Like, okay, let me get up and read this book. You ain't playing. Like, I want to let me write these notes. You ain't playing.
That was one of the things I was actually talking to my homie about the other day. We just had got into it was like a random intellectual conversation that came out too. It was like, yeah, bro, Conor McGregor, you know what I'm saying? He be beating dog out, yeah, because he be locked in mentally and woo, woo, woo. And then it was just like, hey, what do you think is more important? Like,
having mental control or physical control? Like, it just took a left turn real quick. And it was like, I've told him, I said, I believe mental control. I'm like, because the infinite battle that we're in life is between light and darkness. You know what I'm saying? So you have to look at your physical as the darkness. Why? Because your physical is what urges for the temptations. You know what I'm saying? Your physical is what seeks out what it wants. Your physical is what is more controlled and portrayed by the ego. Whereas the mental works more on a spiritual level. What you truly believe and you want is in your mind. You know what I'm saying? But we don't always act it out of fear of what other people are going to say or think about what we're doing. Sure. That's why it's like, right, if that's the infinite battle of light and darkness, what do you want to do? You want to walk into the light or you want to walk into the dark? I'd rather walk into the light. So that means I'd rather focus more on my mental, looking at more of the aspect of what's right versus what's wrong, what's needed versus more of what's wanted. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what's going to guide you on your successful path. But his response coming back was more so on the physical. You know what I mean? He like, because once you got so much control over what you need and what you want, then and I'm like, no, that doesn't work, because 9 times out of 10, our physical responds better to our mental. Our mental doesn't respond to our physical. If I take my hand, I said, excuse it on the podcast, but this is how the conversation went. And this is what I said to him. I said, I don't get a stiffy and my stiffy pulls me to a woman and makes me have sex with her. No. Something clicks into my mind, and then there's a decision that gets made on if I should go and do this or not. And so would you rather your physical have more control over your mental? That means you're telling yourself like, no. But it's like you don't have any control over your hands or whatever is going on. No.
I'm just from pure science. The head can live without the tail. tail can't live without the head. You can't get physically in a place if you don't have a mentality to do it. You don't have a mindset to uphold it, like to get to it. Like, can't do anything to me personally. And I'm saying this, and as I'm trying to create a next play mentality, your mind controls everything. The mindset in which you make decisions, the mindset in which you live through is going to control all of your behaviors. Your behaviors are things that get you physically fit, are things that get you in tuned, are things that make sure your body is physically responding. But you definitely need your mind. You explained it to him perfectly. Listen, the person that's making the thing that's making decisions is not your physical.
It's not your physical.
That told you what happened, but up here you connected to say,
not like, and just to show you like how strong the mind is. It's like things that we were taught and we learned as kids, but when you get older and you get a different perspective and your perception changes on things, you start to see it differently. Like look at like a Stephen Hawking, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm not saying the name wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like no physical, nothing.
But mentally the strongest one, like one of the strongest minds in the world. You feel what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I mean, if you think, let's bring science. We're just talking back and forth like we would if we, throw in a conversation and lobbing back and forth. Just science alone, our neurological makeup is all stimulated from our brain. Once that is, if we go brain dead, you know what I mean? Like, what physical can you get if you brain dead? And that's where I feel in our mind, our frontal focus, that's where our mentality, all of our things that we subscribe to, that we love, that we cherish, that we value, that's the mind. Like you have to treat your mind as a physical component. If you break your arm, you're going to go seek help. You're going to go get treatment. If you sprain your ankle, you're going to elevate it. You're going to ice it. You're going to take care of it. If your mind breaks, and there are people's that mental health is mind breaking. That's something where things are not connecting correctly for what you are proposing to be, how to live a balanced life. You need to go get support for it. You need to go get help for it. So when people are saying things like, oh yeah, the physical is what you need to be focused on. No, your mind needs to be fed. When your mind is fed, you get the physical results.
Facts. That is pure facts. And that's why I tell people I spend a lot of time, like throughout my day alone, you know what I'm saying? Like taking mental time.
Yeah.
Like I wake up in the morning chaotic, you know what I'm saying? Because I already know what my day has, you know what I'm saying? Like this is where I was talking to you earlier about like my organization and stuff like that. I'm trying to break like the chaos that I have because I'm not good with like writing things down. You know what I'm saying? I'm more of like a go with the flow, get to it type of person. You know what I'm saying? But I'm learning. I've been throwing this around a lot, art, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm starting to learn like the base of a lot of stuff, like the art behind it, because there's an art behind like organization and stuff like that. So like I'm getting down to the structural art form of organization and understanding how to use it to break the chaos in my life. Because I wake up in the morning like, okay, I gotta go to the gym, get done with the gym, I gotta eat my breakfast, and I'm trying to be on a time consumed thing when it's like, dude, just relax. You know what I'm saying? And I'm finding that it's gonna be easier for me to relax by writing. You know what I'm saying? So let me try writing this stuff down. That way, when in the midst of me writing it, it slows my mind down to only focus on what I'm doing.
That's good that you can recognize that in yourself. Sometimes we're pinging back and forth so quickly, we don't recognize that we need to just slow down. So when you make decisions, we keep talking decisions in a rushed order, like you're moving quick and, oh yeah, I'm gonna just do this, yeah, I'm gonna grab this, yeah, I'm gonna, like, you miss something, right? So that slow down, that pause gives you time to collect. Like, I work in healthcare. Think about it, like the whole waiting room process, if it's done in a way that we are trying to create the right experience, it gives people time to really understand and organize their thoughts about what they need to do in front of their provider. We don't look at it as integral as that on the patient side, but we really do some of the questions that you get asked at the front desk is supposed to start the simulation for you to move into a process. You said it very clearly. When you write it down, you focus on something. We have too many lights on and we're like, oh yeah, boom, smoothie, my son. Like, we're not multitaskers, really. You need to focus on something. So yeah, you got to. I feel like you got it right. Look, I'm jotting now. That's why I switched my screen to show you. Like, I be taking quick notes.
Yeah, but I had to do it because you know what happens in the midst of chaos. Think about a bunch of people. Think about trying to like. So I tell you, we're gonna do a podcast at Summerfest. Meet me in the back. We ain't getting no phone service at Summerfest or nothing. You getting Summerfest, and now you got to find me. What's the odds of finding me? Not likely. It's too many people. You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of movement going on. I'm in the back. What back? I don't even know what the sides is of what you mean by back. You know what I mean? That's the chaos in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I learned how to diffuse that. That's how my brain be in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a human being, I learned to realize that we forget we got 24 hours in one day. And we try to get a 24-hour day done in 24 minutes just to find leisure time to do nothing. Break it up some. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. Like I'm learning so much. You know what I mean?
I think when I started to look at my time differently, it gave me some peace. It makes me be like, if I'm getting ready to do like a huge presentation, I'm walking in front of leadership or something, whatever it is, I'm rushing all the way to the situation, and I get on stage and I'm rushed. If I can just like, boom, okay, you got time, you're prepared. There go that confidence, because preparation is confidence. You in a good position, slow down, breathe. Because when you step into your craft, man, when you step on stage, whatever them lights come on for you in your prime and your thing, that's what you need to be only focused on. And part of that rushing that you're talking about, that comes from you not saying, I'm gonna just breathe, I got some more time. Most of us think we don't have time. You do. Where do you use your time at through the day? We all got the same 24 hours, but we pumping them. Definitely different with these minutes. These minutes are going into different directions for sure.
How many times do we have somewhere to be, and we like in the house, and we rushing? I'm talking about pants on, shoes on, socks on, shave up real quick. I'm talking about you rushing. You know what I'm saying? To the point where you get halfway to your destination and you're like, and I still forgot to bring the damn car. That's all right. They should be able. They're gonna let us in regardless. We good. Right. If you get there, and ain't nobody there yet. 2 people there yet. They ain't even letting people in yet. You like, see, right? Slow down, because that's how you forget stuff.
Going on. It's your perception.
I forget to do so much stuff because I like get chaotic, and when you get chaotic, it throws off your priority. You know what I'm saying?
And you rubbing off on me because you told me something that was valuable about like chaos and how you slowed it down for yourself. Like you move from a certain direction when we getting ready to do our work process, turn this light on, boom, move this way, come around. Having all this equipment, I forgot right at the beginning of our session to press record on this board. So it's an awesome board, but if it's not recording all the awesomeness you're putting into it,
right,
it's just a really nice interface. So I'm doing everything and I forgot, and I told myself I was going to write down my steps for myself to be able to see it, even if I type it in and pop it up on my screen. Before you start to podcast, before you start your conversation, check these things. I got to get back to that. I got that from you.
You know what else to do too? It's the practice. Don't forget about the practice. Even if you're not doing this, but say you're sitting there and you're kind of just in your zone, you vibing. You feel what I'm saying? Just practice it. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, okay, so we were about to do this, boo, boo, boo. You always got the power to delete. You always got the power to get rid of something. So just be, okay, boom, then hit the record button, and then, yeah, here we go, boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? Because then what happens? This becomes, you know what I'm saying? Now, this is emotion. This is just what you're used to now. You know what I'm saying? So now every time you put these on and you talking, and I'm like, all right, yeah, we good to go. Let's go. You like, because now it's just a part of your routine of sitting at the desk now. You know what I mean? Like, oh, trust me, I know. It's a lot. You see, every time if you go back on the videos or anything that we do and you watch it, you'll see I do the same thing every time. It's like, okay, we finna get started, and I go boom, boom. And I'm like, okay, I'm here. And I don't even need to be like this, but I'm just boom, boom, because now I know what? I know I got to hit this first and then this second. Boom, boom. Then I sit back because I know I control everything else from right here. And now I can get into my conversation. Like it's the motion preparation you want too. You know what I'm saying? It's like a athlete, a runner. You know what I'm saying? You can't just sit there and go do squats and lunges and train core and all this, and now it's time to run. Nah, because even though you're as strong as you want, you still don't have the physical technique, the motion. Once you get your body used to a certain motion in your preparation, that helps prevent your poor performance as well. I mean, I can like sometimes when I go work out and I'm like running the treadmill, like what I'm gonna do when I get off this session, I'm gonna go and do a 20-minute cardio session. Like my last CD I put out is about 30 minutes long. It's not that I'm working out to my music, but as I'm working out, even if I'm not verbally out loud, I'm rapping my songs and breathing at the same time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because then what happens when I get on the stage to perform, now you wonder why I can be so hyped and continue to flow at the same time, right? Because it's like practice for me. I practice moving and speaking at the same time.
Somebody asked me, so they were like, I don't know how you get your voice to do that. I'm like, get my voice to do what?
Look, right.
Like, you always talk like you're a commercial. Like, what do that mean? Like, not a bad thing. Like, no matter if you telling the joke, no matter if you telling the story, no matter if you mad, like it just sound like you got a voice that can capture things. I'm like, but I had to practice talking because I talk for a living. Like, you got to get through a mold of talking. Like, I just practice how I'm gonna say something, how I'm gonna speak. Now this is just my thing. Like, I've gotten it to a place where I routined it. Is why I hear you saying like it's okay to routine stuff, especially when it becomes a tool. My speech, my talk, when I'm actually start giving it to somebody, this is a tool I use. This is part of my engagement. Could you imagine if I wanted to do this with people and sometimes I'm low, man. Sometimes I'm happy. Sometimes I'm monotone. Like let me just be authentically me. And it's going to come out like this all the way around. So I just bred myself. But people do a lot better when they have an understanding of their routine too. Like, so I'm definitely hearing you. And I put up here because I love deliberate practice. I learned a lot about deliberate practice in school. Deliberate practice is really that next play mentality. That's the making plays part. That's the continuously practicing. That's the continuously applying, continuously trying. I hear you when you say you sit down and you just hit into emotion. Continuously doing stuff makes you consistent. When you can do something consistently, the rest kind of falls in line. The rest just becomes.
And I know what you mean with the speech thing, because a lot of my speaking I do is like here, you know what I'm saying? But let me start conversating with somebody, and I'm a topics guy. You know what I'm saying? Everything is a topic for me because I relate everything to life. You know what I'm saying? You can be sitting here talking to me about anything, and I instantly turn it into something like, yeah, man, because you got to understand, man. Look, this is how important like value is. And like, look, the $3 that you just spent on this right now, like that's the same thing you could have used to, and they just be sitting there looking. I had to tell myself sometimes, like, my bad, y'all. I know I always go into these preaching things, but then like the thing that I appreciate the most is the people that are around me. They like, no, bro, talk. I love to hear that shit. I love for you to be talking. I'm like, cool with me.
I got to a point, and I was never that person. Like, I'll sit down and listen to a story. People seek out my opinion. They'll be like, hey, I wanted to run this by you. And then we just talking. Like, sometimes you just get into a vibe, and I really am just applying stuff I learned. Like, yeah, man, I've heard this and this. I've tried it this way. And a lot of it is just experience too. A lot of stuff right now, Terrence, I showing this board. I know you got experience. You're going to take this board and use it to its capability. Me, I'm like, man, it does.
Dummy.
Like, my content is smooth. I got to learn this part. You know what I mean? Like, we just understand the flow.
Like, your board is like both of my things in one. Like, it's dope. Like, it's super, super dope. Like, and you just got to sit there. You got to play with it. Play with it with anything. Like, anything. When you just sitting in there, like, I'm just going to record this. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. Like, just mess around with it. I'm telling you, and before you know it, you're going to be like, damn, I didn't even know it did this. And then another thing, don't be afraid to mess with stuff.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of that's what we do in life too. See, everything in life. That's how it be in life. We see stuff that we like, and we see stuff that we want, and then we get it, and we only use it for what we wanted it for, not even for its full capabilities. You know what I'm saying? And why don't we use it for its full capabilities? Because we too afraid to do something, because we think we're gonna mess something up.
Remember, I told you that we do that to each other. We have to see each other as capable people. That's the only way that the relationship works for whatever it is that you're in a relationship for. It don't got to be like your significant other. Relationship in business, relationships in parenting, relationship in your friendships. Like, we have to see each other as capable. If we don't get things, the maximum use out of whatever we're using, the relationship was, I mean, you missing out. You losing on certain things.
Right.
Being capable. Like, you got it.
Like, I got a homie that he doesn't even understand, like, because some people, you can't even voice their purpose to them because they're so blinded that they can't even see it. You know what I'm saying? So I got a homie that he doesn't even know he's like my musical inspiration. You know what I'm saying? Or the musical energy that I feed off of. You know what I'm saying? Just because you don't even have to say anything, but because I do music and you do music, and just because of so many outlets of things that I do, I know that your drive to be so great in music is higher than mine. I feed off of it. You know what I'm saying? Because also as a man, we have a competitive spirit. You know what I mean? A competitive instinct inside of us. So knowing that you think this great about yourself, it makes me want to be that great for myself. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand what now? This is a competition. So if I become this great person, it should only fuel you to be greater. And that's how I operate with my son. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything that I do is like, no, I want to be the greatest at it, because then it's going to make him be the greatest at it. I don't even know if that's a word, but it's going to be today.
Greatest third. The third.
The greatest, the third. But like, and I try to preach that to a lot of like my fellow men out there. If you are listening right now, like, this is the example that we have to set. The example is bigger than just being a good dad in the home and being there every day for your child and the basic stuff that we think. Like, what are you actually doing with the time that you're spending with your child? And if you're not spending time with your child, what are you doing for your child to reflect? Because your child gonna be just like your wife or your baby mama or something. They want to know where you at, what you doing, where you been at for 3 hours. They want to know too, because if they want to see what it is that I need to do. You know what I mean? That's where our kid is learning from us, and us as men with these sons. That's what they see. Whatever you're doing, they're going to want to do the same thing and be better than you at it, because you are their competition. These are boys that are growing up with that competitive instinct. These are boys that are growing up to be alphas. And what does an alpha do? You know what I mean? I study lions because I'm, Judah to the core. I feel it. You know what I'm saying? So I study it, and that's what they do. They sit there and they watch. They'll never betray, you know what I mean, their father, the Mufasa, the main, the alpha. But what happens is at a certain age, they're pushed away. But they're pushed away by the alpha because the alpha is smart enough to understand that eventually I'm going to get old. And I don't want them to come at me, because then they will conquer me. You know what I'm saying? So I push them out to protect the borders of the pride. And then they can start, they build in there. And then when I die out, you move in type. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is how the cycle works. It's not an ongoing, they don't raise them to be full-blown adult. And then, like, they feud off in some special fight for who runs this. No, then you get some that get pushed away and they go take over other people's prides. Like, I don't know dog over there, so we finna go mob over here, and we finna go take over here then. We'll start this over here because the land getting shy over there. Like, animals are super smart, and people don't understand. If you sit back and watch them, you'll learn so much from animals and learn how to survive in your own life.
I will say this, other species, and I love creativity and innovation, but other species do stick to a very common practice on how they develop, grow, expand. Like, it's inevitable. It's almost like that Bee. Have you seen that Bee movie? I just recently caught it. It's had it on. they like have a
So
structure.
you talking about the B movie, or it's like
The B movie, like where he was like they have a structure. People,
right.
You're gonna have this role. You're gonna have this is your responsibility. Sometimes it makes me feel like, man, I would definitely be the B that trying to break out and do what I wanted to do. But I get why they are. In order to survive, this is our structure. Almost kind of like on that food chain. Like this is how we do our thing. So it makes sense.
Hey, and then to go into a deeper concept with that, look at how what one B steps out to do his own thing, how not only does it affect himself and almost get himself hurt or killed or something, it affects the whole colony, and it costed one of them to die because that one that died tried to protect you because you didn't listen. You know what I'm saying? Because all you had to do was do your job. We're not saying your job got to be pitchfork, you know what I'm saying? But like take the concepts and apply them to your life. This is what happens when you don't do your job. Dad, you don't do your job in the home. Mom's not happy. And the kids see that mom's not happy. So the kids now get on mom's nerves, which causes mom to act a certain way to the kids, which makes her want to seek happiness, which gets you put out the house. Now that you're not in the house, now it's just mama and the kids, and we struggling, but you out here and don't nobody know, like, you don't do your job, you affect a whole lot of more people than just yourself. And this is where your selfishness does not kick in. You got to not be selfish like that, because when we are not being committed to our purpose and we're not dedicating ourselves to the titles that we're taking on, like I spoke about last week, this is the title that happens. This is the effect that happens. And now we all got to ride this wave until one of us catch land. And now we're looking like, am I getting back out there with you, or am I doing this on my own? But then a person gets upset when you don't do it again with them. And you're like, dude, but look at the result of every time I did do it with you. No, it's best for me to focus on my own, do my job that I know I have to do, and get that done.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you want to do the audience call.
Nuh-uh, you got that. You like that. You got that.
You've given us the sermon every Sunday.
It happens. I'm sorry. It happens.
I understand how animals are a great teacher of life. One thing I didn't say on here when we talking about who's a good teacher, I'm going to leave y'all with this concept, and I really want to do an audience call on this concept. Man, the past is a great teacher. No lie. It is one of the best teachers. Things that you've done, failures, mistakes, they really do grow you. But the past is a terrible landlord. Don't live in the past. Don't stay there. Let it teach you your lessons. Let it move forward. Let it move on. Man, I caught that from Charlemagne the God, and it really rang to me like the past will keep you as a tenant if you allow yourself to stay captive there. We're looking for people who want to make next plays. In order for you to be able to move on, you have to heal. You have to address trauma. You have to understand and recognize that your mindset is at the forefront. You're wanting to build a next play mentality to keep moving. When you hear no, think next. And we're looking for folks who want to subscribe to that type of mentality. So if you're the audience for that line of work, if you're trying to get to it, make decisions and moves for you, then we want you here. And I appreciate the time, Real T, as usual. Happy Sunday, Self-Care Sundays. It's the start of my week. Best day of the week. Best day of the week.
As always, you know it's a pleasure. You know it's a pleasure on Sundays. I'll be having to hold myself off throughout the week to not hit you up and be like, hey, you want to Zoom? Let's do a Zoom.
This week, I swear to God, I'm like, I wonder if Terrence would jump on. I just didn't send the text. I was doing something in my office. I'm like, man, I really got to get some stuff off. Man, listen.
Sometimes I be sitting here and I be like wanting to put a message up on Facebook to people like, anybody want to Zoom? Like, it don't even have to be recorded. Right. But like just doing this while I'm in here working, like just I just feel like you're sitting here with me.
I'm about to be like Jeezy. I extended the olive branch, bro. I said, listen, like those little study sessions, there's times where I be needing to write on something. I jump on the Zoom, throw this on, moving some stuff. We end up talking about some stuff. Hit me up anytime for that.
I told you I'm getting a little bit more disciplined and all that. And that's what happens is I'm talking to myself now. I need to start utilizing the actual tools that are being presented in my life that I'm blessed with. You're a tool in my life that I'm blessed with, and I'm not using it because there's someone. you're sitting in my face telling me hey, hit me up. I'm down for it. And then in the same breath, I still sit here and be like, man, I wish I had somebody that I could, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on now, it's right here. It's right here. You know what I mean? And once you start to utilize that tool, watch how your job gets done much faster.
I have a, and this is just for us talking, I have a, what is it called? A change, almost like a process that tells you when something is missing. I'm going to share it with you. When you're missing resources, you're getting this kind of outcome. When you're missing skill, you get this kind of outcome. When you're missing recognition, you get this kind of outcome. It's just one of those things where we have to understand what our behaviors are telling us, so we learn how to recreate, like restart this over. 110%. I'm with you, bro. Yes.
Right.
As a resource, don't get into it deep. It's hard to tell you without showing you what I'm talking about, but man, it's all. And I get the energy right back from you. I can't now stop working because I know I'm a blessing to somebody. You're a blessing back to me because it's going, like you said, it's going to push me to let me keep growing. Let me keep working. Let me keep finding this. Let me keep thinking about that. Keep working.
And that's how it be. I tell you, you always shouldn't mess with people. If you're dealing with people that you can't gain from, or you feel like they're not pushing or elevating you to the next level, they're not for you. You got to move them around. You know what I'm saying? And if they're not understanding it enough to know why you're moving differently, then that's a them problem, and it's not a you problem. You have to focus on you. That's what's important. And just from seeing little stuff like you posting videos on Friday with the other segments and stuff that you got going on now, it just elevates me to keep going with my Thursday shows. It just elevates me to want to get the visuals going, and you know what I mean? So like, just keep doing what you're doing, because as long as you're doing what you're doing, I'm going to do what I do. And if I do what I do, it's going to keep you doing what you're doing, and we're just going to keep doing what we got to do. I don't know if they got that, but I get it.
Let's talk about it.
It feels good. Yeah.